All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Kizumonogatari.
Yes, the first movie, because
Yeah.
Bakemonogatari is done.
And for all of those that have been wondering what order we're doing, now you know.
Exactly.
If you didn't know yet, which I think apparently everyone in the Discord has been doing a good job of letting everyone know what order we're doing. This is the order we've been advised upon.
Right. There's probably a dozen different permutations of different orders you can do, even while having Kizu after Bake, but
But the gist of it is these movies are movies that came out way later chronologically.
Right, but they were
supposed
to have come out earlier, but apparently there was like some production issues or something.
Right, but these came out in like 2016. So Jacob, we've got like
movie
budget and 2016 movie budget.
Oh yeah.
So like
this is gonna be good.
Like we could get some like serious visuals, like Shaft visuals, if you know what I'm saying. Like some Shaft visuals. Oh my. Anything you're expecting specifically? Because I don't know how to treat this. I feel like we're basically entering another JoJo part. Like I don't know.
I feel like this is going to be Shinobu.
Okay.
At least in part and focus, because that was the big thing left like open from Bake.
Okay.
So yeah. And there was that whole guy in the flashbacks that
it was the least developed thing in Bake.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was very much developed and not developed, you know. Yeah.
Well, it was basically tantalized.
Right,
like
exactly.
Every single other girl had like an actual like arc dedicated to them. Shinobu piggybacked on other arcs.
Right.
And while that's, interesting and builds up the mystery of Shinobu, I agree with you. It would be nice to have them focus on Shinobu at least a little bit, because she's so tied to the origins of Araragi as a vampire. Yeah. Other things that I would like for them to at least focus on is specifically Araragi. I feel like that's a given that it will focus on Araragi, but I would like almost a dedicated Araragi like arc section at the very least in this trilogy. Yeah, I don't know how they're going to structure the movies as being maybe one continuous story, or if they're each going to have their own story.
Right.
So,
yeah. But there is that like potentially werewolf dude or whatever in the flashback. So that's a solid conflict that is not just an oddity. Let's figure it out.
Yeah, it doesn't just come out of nowhere. It has been.
It'll have its own plot to it, probably.
Right. Yeah. Or pre-shadowed, because that was from the past.
It's complicated.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to more stuff in this whole universe, but having it from potentially a different storytelling structure. There was a unique aspect of Bakemonogatari having to tell us which characters are going to be important by kind of building some foundation, but there were specific characters that got like pretty serious, like heavy arcs, like Senjugahara, Hanakawa, but characters like Araragi were like told they had an arc at some point.
And 3 episodes was a pretty standard length, with Hanakawa as an exception, but this is 3 movies.
Yeah.
So
are they each their own arcs? Jacob, we just gotta watch and find out. But yeah, we're doing movie reactions every week until these are finished.
Yeah.
So
the value.
Monogatari fans, you're gonna have some fun here. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, everyone, we're gonna start the movie in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now. Okay. March 26th to April 7th.
Okay, vampire. Cool. All right.
Tragedy.
Ooh.
Histoire. Backstory. Monochrome reversal. That shifts from black to white.
Okay, these visuals are already quite a step up. This is absolutely gorgeous.
What is going on?
And that I love the atmosphere. Wow.
Is that supposed to be Araragi?
Yeah.
He looks out of place amidst the backgrounds. It's so crazy. Like, you see how the backgrounds are like a different style?
Like way more like digital and stuff, whereas he's like traditional, like 2D.
Wow.
Trippy.
Very trippy.
Okay.
4.
I'm really liking this.
Oh, he's already a vampire. He's got the fangs. Okay, so
are
he's
they gonna do like
out.
an in media res thing of like, this is how it all started?
He's freaking out right now, I think, because
of the change.
Of the change, yeah.
Getting into the dark, yeah. Doesn't like the light, even though it's not sunlight.
Whoa. Or he's dreading going outside.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is really good.
This is amazing. A murder.
Okay.
Death. Whoa.
Wow. Holy crap. Okay.
Oh my god.
All right.
He's surrounded by death. Murder. A helicopter. Four again. Even the peace symbol has 4 sections within it.
Okay.
4 is a number of bad luck in Japan.
And they did show 4 crows just there in that shot.
We still haven't had dialogue.
I know. Like, this is so... It feels so weird for Monogatari to not have dialogue.
The son.
Mm-hmm. He's gonna start cooking him.
Oh! Wow! Oh! Oh my god! Wow, this is amazing.
This is so like gorgeous.
That history of the vampire is something bad. When the dang it, it's too fast. My French is not that good anymore, y'all. Oh my god.
Wow.
So he's a full vampire at this point.
I think so, yeah.
He's not some half-assed vampire like they said in Baka. Or Bake. Oh, the reaching up towards the sky anime trope. With
but like having it instead be here, like where it's like, this thing is killing me. Like,
yeah.
Wow. Talk about a great, like, cold open, you know?
Yeah. Still no dialogue, though.
Mm-hmm.
Teketsu Hen. Is this the OP equivalent for the movie?
Oh, probably. Yeah.
Rolling the credits. And...
Mm-hmm. Wow. I did not expect... Like, I kind of expected it to be just, like, a longer Monogatari episode, you know?
Yeah, it's completely different.
But it's completely different. Two swords.
Oh, now the tree has blooms with flowers and March 25th. So the day before. The day before.
Oh, the day before.
Because it was March 26th and April 7th.
Gotcha.
It was March 26th to April 7th. And then they just jumped to March 25th here. Oh, Hanakawa! All right.
Oh, a familiar face. Are they going to start with another panty shot?
I mean...
Wow. That background, like the water, it looks
so good.
It's so good. It's so good.
Well, I think this might be... Oh, yep, you're right, Jacob.
All right.
Wow! And then right in his eyes there, and
jiggle. Just
raw beauty.
Wow. And did that wind blow away all of the blossoms?
Oh my god, what? Is it just me, or did they make Hanakawa's bust, like, way larger?
Maybe.
Like...
Or at least they animate it more.
Oh, this is,
cat hopping?
Her cat aspect?
Yeah.
These ones don't, at least.
Oh, yeah, way bigger.
Huh. Yep. Yeah, sure. She's got the cat-like mouth thing going on. Oh my god. Just rejected. Oh.
Trying to act cool and everything.
Water. She's chasing after you, dude.
Yeah.
Whoa. Wow, and now that we know everything about...
Yeah, it throws a totally different meaning on all this.
Yeah. Oh, gotcha. So she yeah, of course she knew him at this point.
I would not be surprised if a bunch of people, like, watching these before Bake.
Nice. Oh, this soft little track in the background.
And the way they're, like, kind of reintroducing the characters, so that you could
wow.
watch this first.
Oh, I know. Water.
Wow.
What? It's so weird hearing Hanakawa so, like, confident and...
Like,
yeah.
Up front.
Yeah. That was funny.
Yeah.
At least question the alien part. She doubled down.
No. Why is she asking about this? Yeah.
The synchronicity of their walking.
While being so slow.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Woman, not little girl.
Yeah.
Glistens.
Nice, and showing both their shadows. I love how he's still not debating whether or not vampires are real, but just trying to go along her logic of, well, you know, if you saw her at night, it might not have been a very, you know, impressive shadow to look at. Sounds like the beginning of a Haruhi episode.
Yeah. I find it interesting how what Hanaka was saying is a different vocal track than the sounds of her moving around.
Right. So... Aww. Question.
Wow. Wouldn't that cause you so much trouble? So many episodes of trouble.
Yep. Wow. It's like they're basically setting up the entire premise of the show right there.
Right.
Yeah. You're only focusing on the negative. That face.
If you, yeah. Dude, yeah.
cool, bringing that up again.
Mm-hmm. She's like, I'm offering to help you.
Yep. Oh, she has an idea. Gimme. Oh, she's so cute.
Mm-hmm. That was fast. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well done, Hanakawa. He's like, no! Da, 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 da. That little,
Yeah.
Little, like, yeah. Wait a minute.
What?
She's not going to the library. Oh, not the library at the school, like a library for the city. I was thinking
but she did have to walk back the other direction that they were walking from.
Yep. Oh my god, dude. Like, if this was all happening before, like, she's so smitten with you.
Oh, yeah.
Like.
Yep.
Gah.
But that's Araragi's superpower. Like every harem protagonist. Oh,
yeah,
and
the car crash.
You know, and
are we gonna deal with that? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, they didn't even seem to respond to the car crash.
Right.
I mean, I get the Araragi's excited. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I got a girl's number.
Mm-hmm.
And it drops. Oh. Wow. This place looks crazy good. Flashback. What'd you do this afternoon? Well, I just kinda...
I must commit this to memory.
Yeah. I think it's pretty easy to interpret what happened there.
I think so.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. But the white jets of steam coming out of his nose were helpful just in case. Wait a minute.
That's cool, but... Oh my god.
And then it has a little... Oh, wow.
That was hilarious. What the heck? Do it. No!
Because he went out to get porn, because he didn't call her, because of all of those things. They added up together. Wait.
Oh, did you hear that breath in the background?
Mm-hmm.
It happened again.
Yeah, it's still going.
I've had this nightmare. Oh my god.
Wait.
Well, here's where he becomes a vampire.
For some reason, I thought, though, that, like, I didn't think this would be something at the beginning. I thought that would be something more towards the end, you know? Because this is what we're just going to find, like, Shinobu sans an arm, right?
Right, exactly. After the fight.
Right. I thought we'd see the fight, and, like, it would be this big thing, and then maybe at the end he'd be turned into a vampire, but... Okay.
Now he's walking in time with the... Oh, my God.
That would be hilarious if he's just like... And then he walked back the other way. You know. He's still going.
He's still following it. It's almost like at this point he's already
entranced.
He's already entranced with coming, because he's probably going to be, you know, fed essentially, or going to be food for Shinobu to be restored.
Wow.
But he's still scared.
I gotta say,
it's like he can't stop himself.
Yeah. The backgrounds and everything and the use of 3D are fantastic.
Yeah.
But the way that they're building up the idea of a vampire, I absolutely love it, because it's not something that inherently piques my curiosity, you know? But the presentation of this, all of the ways that they're doing this, it's awesome.
Oh. That's terrifying.
Okay.
It's almost as if reality's kind of warped around him to push him towards this specific, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
It's like, how powerful of a vampire is Shinobu?
I mean, if we can assume this to be just Shinobu as well.
Sure.
Not that there's anyone else, but that there's forces at work that aren't necessarily just...
Yeah.
You know, that of a vampire, but fate, time, you know, the universe, the reality, if you will. They keep using Morse code here, and it bugs me because
TTT.
Well, that's the sounds, the intonation, the and then do, you know. So, oh my gosh, he's like, oh, perception, everything's shorted out,
blacks out everything.
And now we're back where we started. No.
Oh.
Oh, buddy. Wait a minute.
That is Shinobu, right?
I don't know.
I think... Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Whoa. Yep.
It's like shambling forward.
Yep. Oh my gosh.
Whoa.
Oh my god, this would be terrifying. Oh, buddy. Yes, Rouge. Whoa.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
How much you want to bet something's going to come out of the train?
Yeah. Crap.
Oh boy.
No shadow either.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Nice. 4 pointing this way, 3 pointing this way. 4 was what was being emphasized over and over and over again in the beginning. Yeah. Yeah. He can't leave.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Wow. Oh.
Dang.
He's actually getting away. Oh. The music's changed. Oh. Dang. Oh. Here she comes. Oh.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. The baby crying.
Yeah, what's up with that? Is this where she's going to transform?
Well, I think
run,
the baby crying submits. It's basically that universal sign of human like desire to help and empathy, and she's using it to try and get into his head. Oh, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, and he can't ignore it entirely.
Wow.
Oh, this is the crux of the whole story. Because he chooses to help even though it sacrifices himself.
Sure.
Oh, yeah. Buddy.
Okay.
Yeah, because if he had been compelled only to, you know,
it would have been something different.
It would have been something
different.
And
that's probably why she'll spare him.
Yeah. Or at the very least, why he ends up becoming the way he is in a lot of ways.
Right.
Or this is who he is, and we're just getting revealed it. I mean, this is a gorgeous, horrific image, though.
Yeah.
Just the idea of having the red be so bright and rather than dark
starkly
red.
Contrasted to the white of everything else.
Whoa. Oh.
Wow.
Dang.
Tears aren't blood anymore.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay.
They really are nailing it with the music alongside every scene. And
yeah,
I mean, the visuals are always 10 out of 10, but like the music has been amazing. Whoa. Wait. Is that how long he's been alive?
Maybe.
Okay.
You're not dead. Well, or maybe you are.
Well, see, here's the classic romantic, like, kind of sad part about all this is that he never called Hanakawa. Oh.
Okay.
Oh, youth. Vampires are immortal, right?
Mm-hmm.
So by taking so much blood, maybe Shinobu became basically a kid again. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Another one. Oh. Whoa. How much you want to bet there's a certain Tsubasa that's really depressed right now because the guy basically just never emailed or called all this time.
Right.
So basically his one desire to help someone else ended up ruining the whole setup there of what could have been a simple Whoa. Dang.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Getting him out of the sun.
Yeah, but good grief.
That smoke cloud might be enough cover. And after you saved her life, now she's risking her life to save yours.
Yeah. Okay. Because you're my vampire, you didn't evaporate, or?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Oh.
Wow, that's
some hellish suffering there.
Yeah.
She gives him the first head pat.
Wow.
Yeah. Such is the woe of being an immortal vampire.
Now, she doesn't seem to have, like, noticed or worried about the fact that she is younger.
I think she's used to this.
Normal?
Yeah. Kiss shot, Essarola, Orion, Heart Underblade. Yeah, she's old.
Mm-hmm.
She was going to name him, but she's like, wait, he might already have a name. Aye. Oh, okay. The world of the night.
All right, cool.
Nice.
I love how they do 3D for the character models sometimes with just like outlines to make it look 2D.
Why ask such stupid questions? Like
Wait, this is where Oshino's gonna end up.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're right. Huh. Nay. It's not like I care or anything. Baka. Mm-hmm. Be honored, indeed.
That is a great question.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So it's the opposite. It's that he didn't have actually.
Right.
Oh.
All right.
Oh. Shinobu needs still to be powered up back in where she was at in Baka.
And that still wasn't... The full form was not enough with whatever...
Oh, that's it? I thought she would have been like 3,000 years old or something. Ah. Okay.
So she's talking with so much personality right now.
Right.
What happened that made her the way she is in Bake?
I'm curious, yeah. Nice!
What? She doesn't need protection from head pats just yet? All right, that's enough. Yeah.
That was adorable and hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay. They're doing the synchronized slow
and
walking.
Yeah.
Actually, they're slightly off sync, but
it's because their legs are so much shorter.
Without exception.
Even if they're sucked dry.
I need you to bring me more.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, that's good. I mean, we know what Araragi ends up becoming, but he was still kind of a, what they call him, like a half-baked, like half-vampire.
Yeah, like ex-vampire.
Ex-vampire, yeah. Oh.
3, okay.
Dramaturgy. Guillotine cutter. Gotcha.
Episode.
So are those their names?
Oh, and she needs them back.
Uh-huh. Well, that's a quest.
Yeah.
Maybe one per movie?
Although she lost all 4 limbs. That means someone has 2.
How convenient.
Now, is Araragi going to fail? And that's why Shinobu doesn't go back to being a grown-up?
No, I think she's going to succeed. And that's going to be why she looks different than she even does now, and why she's nothing.
Okay.
Like, she's going to end up liking him, basically.
Right. Because in Bake, it seems like... Oh, wow.
What's that smirk? What? What was that style?
Wow.
What?
Wow. But like in Bake, they seem to have like a link where like they couldn't be far apart. I'm pretty sure that was mentioned. So
yeah,
exactly.
So what is he gonna do? Okay.
Are you sure about that?
Right. Oh.
Okay.
All right.
Well, time to get the snot beaten out of you, Araragi. Yeah, easy task.
Yep.
Totes.
Oh my god, okay. This is dramaturgy.
Yeah. with a suitably dramatic entrance.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what?
Okay, I guess forget fighting them one at a time, because that'd be too easy. And whatever the crap that weapon is. Okay, so that's episode, I guess. Oh, all three of them right out the gate. Sweet.
Yep.
This is the
wow. It looks like guts. Guillotine cutter. Yes. He even had an eye that was shut.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah. He's totally a guts reference. Oshino, okay.
Okay.
What are these, Rakatans?
Something like that.
Yeah. See?
Yeah. Yeah. But Oshino's here. What's he gonna do? Like,
I think he's gonna be a badass. That's what he is.
Probably. I mean, he's already being a badass.
Oh my god, what?
Okay.
Koyomi vamp. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oshino to the rescue. Here we go. Oh, he's got a book. He's got a book.
Yep.
Whoa!
All right.
What?
Okay. And they ran.
Or they just left.
Yeah.
Of their own accord. Yeah.
Just a bit.
Yeah, just a bit. Huh.
But there's that whole thing of saving himself, you know.
Yeah. But it seems like more he's encouraging him to save himself.
Right.
Rather than actually stating reality. Because he didn't say... Oh my god.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Who are you?
And what are you?
Ha! Right. much later.
I ran into all three of them.
Didn't go well. Well, they probably realize that she's still alive, so... Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's what they had in, like, the... What was it, like, the first or second episode of Baka?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. The thing that kept people from wandering in here.
Mm-hmm.
Between what?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Oh, okay, cool. Gotcha. Mediator. Nice. Nice. That brings out the whole idea of counselor. You know?
Good question. Oh.
Ah.
Gotcha. Okay. So the energy drain thing was not just a vampire thing.
Gotcha.
Are you sure?
Oshino's determined which side Araragi is on.
Some secret about what that will take. That'd be helpful. You gotta work for me after.
$2 million. Okay. So he's going to probably solve it by around April 6th or something, because the April 7th is probably the last day he's an official vampire.
Right. Huh. They're not going to accept that.
See, the thing is that... There it is. There it is. Okay.
Right.
Trade secrets, indeed. Okay, we got that already. Yeah.
This seems too simple.
I lack human currency.
$20,000.
Just here. Sure.
Okay.
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 All right.
Wow.
So we've set more or less the premise by movie 1.
Right.
And gone through the whole Araragi conversion transformation.
The introduction of Shinobu.
I really like Shinobu.
Yes,
I gotta
me too.
say, everything about Shinobu in this movie was just, in my opinion, a good, worthwhile initial bit for the whole mystery that she was in Bakemonogatari.
Yes.
Because I like mystery type characters, but I don't feel too confident with this show and being able to jump to conclusions about which characters are going to get, I would say, like, good, like, you know, like, not like good, but just mean like enough, like build up on specific, you know, parts of their character and stuff.
Sure, and
like I would have expected,
it set a high bar,
right?
And it could have easily not,
or they just would have just done it way later. I just feel like, Hanakawa was what was being more built up than Shinobu.
Sure, and with Hanakawa, it was a temporary solution. We'll put a pin in that and we'll address it later.
Yeah. And they did touch upon Hanakawa because Hanakawa is kind of the beginning of this story. And by them showcasing the panty shot in the beginning of Bakemonogatari, we found out what that scene was in the fullest context now. That was this scene.
Yeah.
Okay, so Araragi has going through this whole thing because some wind blew one day and he saw a girl's panties.
Right.
And her rack jiggling in the wind.
Exactly.
And he was just like, gah, like, what? So, what do we know from Bakemonogatari that carries over into this directly?
We know that
Araragi becomes a not vampire, an ex-vampire, half vampire, whatever. He's fine walking in sunlight.
We know that Shinobu is connected to Araragi in some way because she can't be that far from him.
Well, she's
whatever.
She's in his shadow at the end.
Right. Well, yeah, that too.
But also Hanakawa was saved by him, right? Remember?
Was that during this arc? Or
well,
was that
she said that you like,
oh yeah,
like she was like nearby watching, remember?
Oh, that's right.
So if anything, there's going to be that fight with the big werewolf guy,
right,
which is probably one of the vampire hunters,
just
in his like transformed form or what have you.
Sure, or
it's just an oddity,
or it's just that we thought werewolf, but no, it's just a vampire hunter.
Sure,
yeah,
but Hanakawa saw him as like her like her, just like there was like this like wow, it like built upon the whole connection that they had established early on. So
yeah,
and that has to happen,
right? And then there's also the fact that Shinobu, as far as personality goes, is very different, very, very different.
She's quiet,
Bake, from this one, right?
She doesn't even speak,
and is told as being nothing, which is the complete opposite of how she is right now.
Yeah.
So something's going to happen, potentially something really sad.
Yeah. Okay, that was a movie. The thing you were saying the thing you were saying at the end of the credits, I think that whole thing is going to happen because Shinobu is going to use her power to put Araragi back to being a human.
I think so too.
But that's going to reduce her back down
to
her to a, not to this lesser state, but to a lesser state.
Right, because
she can still fight in Bakemonogatari.
Right. And then there's the whole aspect of however she's linked to Araragi, and Oshino seems to clue in that there might be something beyond just, I use my powers to turn you back into a human once I'm a vampire. Like, right. So there could be something there, because they really spent a lot of time like focusing on setting the foundation for everything in this movie. Way more than normal in like a traditional like Monogatari episode from what we've seen in Bake, right?
Right, because this is all one giant episode, I think.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was fantastic because the setting of the tone and the environmental shots and everything, they were absolutely gorgeous, absolutely fantastic, very immersive.
Yeah.
But when I think about how they spent the time, that seems like it can be used as a guide to what should be focused on and what's most important in the story. And they spent a lot of time on the whole struggle of Araragi wanting to leave Shinobu behind, and then eventually going back and saying, "Take my blood," right?
Yeah,
take it all. Yeah. So that's a sacrificial thing, and what I could see happening that would be like a very like gut wrenching thing is that at the end of all of this, basically Shinobu does kind of the equivalent, the same thing, and sacrifices whatever it ends up needing to be, but probably something substantial, in order to make Araragi human again.
Yes, absolutely. The bit though of how this seems to be the beginning, like this seems to be the actual like
chronologically the beginning, even introducing like Hanakawa and Araragi as if this was the first time we had seen them.
Right, and now also no, I'll just wait on that for the next movie. But Hanakawa and Araragi, and by extension also kind of Shinobu, are the linchpins of the entire story then, if this is the beginning.
Yes.
Because what this is, and I think it's so perfect in how it was something so silly and simple, is that Araragi, like the chain of events is very much this all flows within the flow of causality, kind of, like he gets a panty shot from a cute girl, like a really cute girl. He gets his boner.
He's all hot and bothered.
He's hot and bothered, absolutely. The girl, however, is kind of into the fact that he's hot and bothered by it.
Right,
and she finds him kind of cute or something. And
she already knew him, even if he didn't necessarily know her very well, so she probably already had a crush on him at that point. So she
probably had a crush on him for sure before, because she also accused him of being a stalker, which I'm just going to say, when people accuse others of things that they're doing like that, it's generally because they assume people do that at all, which means they have evidence of people doing that, which usually means they do that.
Right, it's the projection thing, because it's the idea that, if you happen to be in the same place a bunch, Well, he didn't clearly clue in on that, and all that stuff. He didn't really think that he knew her, but she knew him, so,
Yep. So she had a crush on him.
Right.
And we know that she had this huge crush on him. We know this. And it was deep. It was something. But the thing is that I think she set up this incident, not the wind coming in there, but she wanted to find a reason to give him her number and email, which is like, please contact me. He then goes on a vampire quest thing with Shinobu for this entire time after that, completely ignoring Hanakawa, who is probably back at her house just going like,
it's been 2 days.
What is going on? Like, I would expect at least like a simple one-word text, like something, but no. No, not even a how are you doing? Not even a here's my number.
Exactly, yeah.
Nothing. She's basically thinks she got flat out rejected.
Yep, which just contributes even more to the whole stress factor. I can totally see why people would watch this one first, like this whole movie series. Because
people would watch this first?
Well, yeah, because like chronologically, it's before Bake, right? And there's all the different orders and stuff. I mean, I don't know if this is one that people watch first, but I'm assuming that like if with all the different orders that there are for the Monogatari franchise, I'm guessing that one of them involves watching this one before Bake.
Oh, gotcha.
And quite possibly first.
I would assume the other order that is not the one we're doing would be the release order. Basically, the same thing with Haruhi. Basically, this is how it was. It came out.
I'm pretty sure there's like
there's a ton of orders,
like a dozen different orders. For this, though.
Then that makes sense. Yeah. Okay, so Hanakawa, I gotta say, they made her look like extra sexy in this one here, and I think that's partially movie budget, because I think Araragi looks extra sexy in this as well. But also, this is something that might be a little bit kind of about that whole thing of this whole story is from Araragi's perspective. Is that Araragi was hot and bothered.
Oh, yeah.
Everything was firing on all cylinders, and he's just like,
the whole thing of like him doing the fidgeting, and then suddenly steam projectile very fast.
That's later at the house.
Oh yeah.
I'm talking about immediately when he sees her.
Right. Yeah.
He's like, because
he's a healthy high school boy.
Right.
Yeah.
And yet I think what's kind of interesting about that is that he did like her.
Yes.
But it was a simple attraction. It wasn't I know you at all. I'm going to fall in love with your personality or anything about that in the same way that he did with Senjigahara.
And maybe he would have if not for this interruption. Yeah.
Because for all intensive purposes, Hanakawa seems like a good person. She seems like a person who has her problems.
Sure.
Like absolutely just like everyone else out there. But her personality isn't inhibited by that to the point that someone like Araragi would be turned off by her in some way. So it's something where basically Araragi went out because
get some porno mags.
Because he had his little episode at home after thinking back to the and that whole thing
not
happened.
A memory that is easy to forget.
Yes. So because he went out and stuff like that, he ended up stumbling near where Shinobu was.
And her cries reached him.
Yes. And that's something that, like, I want to talk about. Do you think that the reason why he stumbled into that area was her mental...
Like summons, kind of?
Yeah, just anyone nearby come...
100%.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Because what I like about this is that that's what drew him there. And I talked about this in the video. But what actually made him come back was his own desire to save someone.
Yep, because he broke the charm.
He broke the charm. She freaked out because she's like, wait, how? No one could...
which
is probably because of how weak she was.
Sure, definitely.
But still, it cannot be understated that Araragi was not under the influence of her when he came back.
And she knew that.
And she knew that. And that's why she cried.
Because, right, exactly. And they did a fantastic, the whole visuals in this movie were fantastic.
So good.
But especially with that whole scene and the way they made it seem like he's trying to run, but he's not. And, and the way, even when he was running, it was like he was getting sucked back towards her. Yep. That was absolutely fantastic. So then by the time he finally does snap and run, and he's, absolutely just crazy run, the way they animated him, stuff with the, the line art stuff, and everything.
Right.
Absolutely fantastic. And then he gets to that point where he can still hear the cries. He's like,
fuck. And he goes back. So he gives this whole thing about, I'll just die here. Now, I gotta say, this reminds me a little bit of the whole Kambaru situation, where it seemed like he had kind of a death wish. Basically, he's just gonna go and deal with that thing and let it pummel him to pieces. And Araragi has this kind of self-sacrificing hero savior pseudo complex thing. Also just being a perv and that.
Well, and they kind of talked about that with Hanakawa, which was one of those other things that was really nice. But
what are you talking about?
Oh, with the whole thing of you don't have friends. Yeah, in this movie, in the whole thing of you don't have friends, and if I did have friends and blah blah blah, then I'd feel like I would, and all that stuff.
Just be a little more detailed because I didn't know what you meant.
Okay,
You're talking about when she was saying that why don't you have more friends? You should have friends, and he said they would be a weakness to me.
Exactly.
When they would feel something, I would feel that.
Yep.
And basically, the link between these friends would be so strong, and he would have no self-control in this, to where he would be forced to experience their pain with them,
which is what happened here.
Then Bakemonogatari had that whole basic thing with that.
You're right, that too.
He was in some ways compelled. He felt like he had to help all of them.
Yeah.
And because they were his friends, or
just because they were just people that needed help.
Yeah.
Because that's what Shinobu was. Shinobu was not a friend of his.
He set the pattern with Shinobu, I think.
And I mean, the fact that she was hot helps, but
I don't think that had anything to do with it. But really, for the most part, because I think once he left the area,
he had a clear head.
Yeah. And I think that he came in and he rests his head. He rests his head nuzzled between her breasts because he's like, if I'm going to die, I want to have at least some enjoyment out of this.
Right.
But I think that he more saw someone that was desperate and broken in need of help.
And the thing is, when you think about that, this is all just conjecture, but when I think about that, the people that would be most moved in order to help would be the people where there's some resonance with them and them as a person, and they see themselves in that. Right?
Oh, okay.
When I think about the people that most have that bleeding heart, help everyone kind of a thing. Now, again, that's all speculation and conjecture, and who knows if there is anything like that and what it would look like for Araragi specifically, and if when we would ever get that kind of focus, because we might not. Who knows? We could potentially get it in these movies. I don't know. Like that would be a potential place to have it, since this is chronologically at the beginning of the story. But yeah,
I could see that.
Yeah.
But when he goes back and gives her basically the take it all.
He didn't even say could you leave a little bit so I survive? It was take it all.
He is letting himself die. Now, she doesn't kill him.
Right.
Now, here's the thing. She said she drained him of all his blood.
Right.
I don't know how the mechanics of vampires work. Vampires do bleed, though, as far as I know.
I mean, she certainly seemed to.
Yeah, so...
Right.
She lying?
Well, and the whole...
She's lying?
Well, and also, okay, so the fact that she said anytime someone is sucked by a vampire, they turn into a vampire, right? Totally makes sense.
No exception.
No exceptions. But from what I've seen in other works of fiction, and granted they could do things differently. If a vampire sucks you completely dry, then you're dead. You know, and it's only if they go like part way, right? And that, because otherwise, she said she only had made one servant before, and it might just be that she only had one person that she named as a servant.
Gotcha.
But what, did she only ever like feed off of one person before in her 400 years? That wouldn't make sense.
She's not telling him everything because she did make him into a servant.
Right.
But making someone into a vampire doesn't make someone a servant.
Sure. So maybe the bond has already happened. Yeah. Like that and we end up seeing in Bake.
Mm-hmm. So what I'm getting at basically is that there's something special that happened between Shinobu and Araragi in between him blacking out for 2 days.
Right. Oh, here's another,
between him dying and giving his blood and waking up. There was something that happened.
One of the things that has happened in other stories is this idea of the difference between a vampire that takes blood and a vampire that gets blood given to them.
Okay.
Like the idea in that when it's a freely given gift, that changes the properties of it or whatever.
Okay.
So maybe that was what it was, and that's why it's a certain thing now as opposed to just being turned into a vampire.
My only thought that, because I don't know anything about any of that, but like the only thought that comes to mind for me is that he has her properties of regeneration,
right?
But if she drained him of blood and he could regenerate the blood, why wouldn't she keep draining him of the blood that he regenerated?
Fantasy, entropy.
No, but see, that's the thing. This show is intelligent. This show actually takes these things, I would say, rather seriously. So I have to assume that she's lying. I have to assume on some level that she actually has some kind of connection that she's already formed with him because of the way that he saved her. And I think that makes some very poetic reasons story-wise that could be explored via not just this movie trilogy, but the story as a whole. Because, like, her hanging out within his shadow, you know, in Bake, it's something where it's like, I'm right by you. Like, I'm right there.
Right. We'll be together forever.
Right. But...
Yeah.
It's
not clear cut.
There's just some interesting things I feel like they're holding out on us. I don't know.
Sure. No, I get it. Yeah, and that's the fact that they have this be movies, right? Not just like another chunk of a TV show, or you know, like a season, you know, or something like that, or attached onto Bake. Like, I feel like there's a very specific reason for that. So what we're going to get here...
The easy reason was that they wanted to do movies and they needed to wait for production to work with that.
Right.
There's a meta answer that's probably the simpler answer.
But like, why they wanted to do movies, like for this specifically, like that... Because what that communicates to me is that
it's important.
Is that it's very important.
It's very important for the story as a whole.
Right.
Because it's the beginning.
Because it's the beginning, sure. But it also makes me wonder if the way that this ends up being resolved is different than how most of the oddity situations end up being resolved.
100%.
Because... like,
because it's barely even an oddity situation.
Right. Like, it's not a thing... As far as we know, it doesn't, like, the whole thing of the sacrifice, you know, Shinobu eventually making a sacrifice so that Araragi can become human again, and maybe it has some cost to her or whatever.
Sure.
That is the closest way to tie it back to the traditional resolution of the oddities, where it's something of a growth on behalf of the person that has the issue that Araragi is helping them with.
Yes.
And then that ends up, you know, causing all the stuff to happen. But all the stuff with the vampire hunters, that's very concrete, traditional, just like, okay, there's this problem we need to solve. We need to get the doohickeys and bring them back. You know? All
right.
By the way, the designs of the vampire hunters...
Yes.
Like, especially Mr. Guts book guy.
So we have Guts book guy, we have Helsing, we have Trigun,
Yeah.
Like, we have influences from all these old stories, basically. Or Hellsing, I don't know if that's actually that old.
I mean...
The manga might be, I don't know.
I think, I want to say, like, it was, like, 2009 or 2011 for Ultimate, and then the original was, like, 2003?
But the original material, though...
But the original material would have been before then, but not that much before then, because...
I think it might actually not even...
caught up to it.
Yeah, it might actually not even... Hellsing's a bad comparison. I think it's primarily just Trigun, that cross thing... potentially being a gun and a blade or whatever
it is.
We don't know that it's a gun,
but it's stupidly big.
It's stupidly big, and it's shaped a lot like, you know, the thing in Trigun.
And I mean, I love the cross, like, you know, working into the aesthetic for vampire hunters. Like, it works really well.
And then the idea of Oshino basically just kind of throwing himself into the middle of this here.
And why?
Here's a couple things. There's a couple things that kind of... This story... Okay, here's the thing. There's a couple things that if... I feel like I am approaching this show with too much meta-knowledge.
Okay.
And I'm going to regress back and go look at this without meta-knowledge, right?
What kind of meta-knowledge are you thinking? Are you thinking, like, of the story as a whole of Monogatari from what we've seen in Bake?
No,
or are you
basically
talking about, like, just general vampire stuff?
No. I'm talking about structure. I'm talking about the stuff of Oshino not just having to be brought in the beginning, you know, soon, but that Oshino doesn't have a...
He doesn't have a why.
He just kind of shows up.
Sure.
And here's the other thing. I looked at Oshino in the beginning. And back in Bakemonogatari's earliest episodes. And he seemed to me, and I think I called him a plot device, essentially. Because he gave exposition primarily on the oddities, right? But when they showcase him being brought in to the story here... which is essentially chronologically the earliest time he's going to show up in the story. They gave him a rule of cool to the umpteenth degree thing there. Now, when you do that, you're essentially saying, don't question it, just accept it, and it's awesome, move on.
Right.
Now, here's the thing. This is, like, a show with just all kinds of, like, symbolism and all kinds of crazy stuff going on, things like that. Oshino called himself a mediator. Now,
yes, he also called himself, like, a wanderer or something like that.
If you think of Oshino in the literal sense of what they're building him up to be in this story, I don't think he fits. He's the true... Okay.
He's the true oddity?
He's the true oddity from a storytelling perspective.
Sure.
Every other character makes sense as to why they're there. And not just as to why they're there, but they fulfill actually certain roles that in the overall, not conflict, but, you know, the conflict, the plot.
Right.
Is there. He is basically just kind of thrown in there. And this is interesting, guys. From a meta-narrative perspective, we just have to accept that he was thrown in there. But the thing is, they put so much import, I would say, on everything that he says, on everything that he exposits. And I'm separating those two because, I mean, dialogue and exposition, it's different. I mean, it's not really different, but it is.
But
I think we might have to look at Oshino through a different lens, if you will.
Well,
because if Araragi is kind of the perspective main character and such, right? Oshino feels a little bit too removed.
Well, so at the end of Bake, Oshino left.
Yeah.
And it seemed, and I can't remember the exact words that were used, but it was something that felt along the lines of, like, passing on or something like that.
He felt
and with what happened here and the way he introduced himself, talking about himself as being, you know, some wanderer or nomad or something like that, that makes me think of some kind of something like he in and of himself is an oddity, not like he has an oddity, but he is an oddity.
And he even went through the whole, us humans, right? Araragi-kun? And I was
and it's
okay,
which is funny because Araragi at that point is not a human, he's a vampire. So the fact that he says that, it's like,
Yeah, and I don't even think I want to go into the literal stuff as to what Oshino is.
But just that he's something?
Just no, from the meta-narrative perspective, he reeks, I would say, of some kind of mentor figure that, when he calls himself a mediator, what a mediator does is someone that basically stands in the middle between two parties.
Facilitates communications.
They facilitate communication. They're a medium, if you will.
Right.
They mediate, and they do the mediating, so they're a mediator.
Right. The language there is very straightforward.
It's very straightforward.
Yeah.
But in the instance of why he was brought into the story is he did not wander here. He did not stumble upon this.
Right. This was not an accident.
This was he had intent that he came specifically here to save Araragi with like all this stuff. And then there's this whole, I know Shinobu. Like, I told her about that place and stuff. It's again something where I might be looking way too deep into this, and I could be. But he feels to me like the character that he feels to me like Araragi in a weird way.
Okay.
Now, here's where I feel like the meta narrative of this is kind of important. Is he lies, in my opinion, to Araragi, and he says basically, you saved yourself. Do you see the weird kind of angle I'm coming at this?
Sure.
That no, you saved Araragi, Oshino. You saved him. You're telling him that, but
right. It's like it felt like he's trying to teach him something. Which the fact that he's stepping in and going into the mentor role already when the mentor stuff hasn't happened yet. They haven't made the deal or anything.
Yep.
Like, and he doesn't, it's complicated.
It's odd.
Right, exactly. And there multiple different ways you can take that. I almost wonder if Oshino is like one of the big mysteries of this series, and maybe that's one of the other things that helps give rewatch value to things, because I feel like with him, like maybe they'll explain it at some point, but I could definitely see it being something where it's not necessarily ever explained. It's just that you get different perspectives on it.
I can't reconcile that in my mind.
Because of how much they like to explain things?
Because of how much they like to give, I would say, multiple, like, iterations on a specific angle of a character's story. Oshino comes into this story as being one to save an oddity. Araragi is the one that basically needed the saving. Then he goes, like, you saved yourself. My weird theory here is that he's Araragi from the future, or some weird shenanigans like that. And because the beginning of the story is where the most paramount important things happen, right? Araragi, Hanakawa, they were the beginning of this whole thing, right? Shinobu came in and basically was the primary original first conflict. So with regards to the growth of Araragi, a lot of it is going to be tied to Shinobu. But the thing is that the reason why Araragi is even still breathing, walking, and moving in this story right now is because Oshino was flung out of the realm of, in my opinion, a potentially like don't think about this as a negative thing. If anyone's overreacting to this, like, this is a plot convenient character, a character that was thrown literally out of the ether. Even though we had been introduced to him before through Bake, he was flung into this out of context into a situation perfectly to save Araragi, and then goes and says something that's so fundamentally not true given what we said of you saved yourself. There are meta-narrative reasons as to why Oshino exists, and they're not telling us that.
Well, and the thing is, if he is Araragi, then that would be the way that he is actually telling the truth.
I know.
You saved yourself. It's like he's telling him. It's that thing of, like, again, the rewatch value and stuff with this, like, aliens. But or that's the wrong. But anyways, And what was the other thing? the whole idea of the mentor figure is that it's, you know, helping the main character, the hero, the protagonist, along on their journey, and basically being that crutch until they can stand on their own 2 feet, and then leaving. And oftentimes the leaving is that test of, okay, are they able to stand on their own 2 feet?
Yes.
But it also goes along the lines of something where the main character then ends up becoming like their mentor, right? Because, you know, that's who they're learning from. And if it's something where then Oshino would basically have a vested interest in Araragi's future, because, you know, it's maintaining the cycle potentially of all of this stuff happening.
Okay,
you know.
But again, my point of he's so removed. He's actually not a mentor. He's just kind of this oddity, this character that exists in this weird space where he even set up a barrier boundary thing that we brought up there. Like, he's not trying to mentor Araragi directly. He's not trying to be the one that saves Araragi. He's trying to push Araragi towards the you need to save yourself kind of thing.
Sure, yeah, which is in a lot of ways a form of mentoring that is just more effective, because it's causing the person to need to do the things and teach themselves, and then you're basically giving them those little prods and those little bits of like fuel, tools, whatever, so that they can continue to do that.
Right, and that's why I think mediator as a word makes so much sense, because he's not a mentor. He's not a mentor. He is one that stands in the middle between two, not necessarily parties in this case, but two things. Let's just keep this as vague as possible, because I then if we see him as if his primary goal in the story being introduced was to do this thing for Araragi, you know, he could end up being this much more developed character where he has his own goals and things like that are more than just earning, you know, money enough to continue wandering. He could be the mediator in the aspect of where he's trying to mediate for Araragi and his growth. You could think about it on that level as well, and that he's basically saying, no, I'm not going to directly like build you up as a Jedi, basically. Like, I'm not going to be your Jedi master. I'm just going to be that person that's there. If you need me, you can ask for help.
Exactly.
But I'm not going to directly
I'm not going to walk you through a training regimen.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So and that's a great mystery that they have here, whether they'll answer that or how much they'll further develop that in these movies versus the rest of the show. Who knows, and when, if it's the rest of the show, I don't know. But Shinobu really was great. Like, I'm really glad that they gave so much personality to her, because it would have been unfortunate if they focused on her and then they didn't really have her do much, because I love the kudere like trope when it's done well, but the thing is,
she's not a kudere.
But well, she is in Bake, and that's what's interesting.
Well,
but the thing is that
it could have been something as simple as like they didn't have a voice actress for her.
No,
yet, so
she said some things
in Baka.
Sometimes,
no, she never spoke.
Didn't she?
No, she never spoke.
Never. Maybe that's what she has to give up. She has to give up her voice or something. Like I don't know. But
that seems
I
made a deal with
whatever. But
something else kind of thing.
The point is that in Bake, at least, she fulfills the kudere trope, and I'm very glad that they did not keep her as a kudere in this, because having the main focus like that when the character is a kudere, it's very hard to do while, you know, in a timely manner, while keeping all that intact and stuff. Point is, I'm excited.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I feel like you're holding a little too hard onto this kudere thing for her, when we expressly shown, especially when we saw her in the truest form that she's ever had. She is quite a talkative.
Absolutely right. No. I'm not saying that she isn't a kudere here. I'm saying that in Bake, she definitely is.
Okay.
Gotcha. Because all right, this might be something worth talking about. Okay. In Bake, she seems different. Yes.
Well, different from this.
Yeah.
But even then, I didn't like the kudere thing, because I was pulling on the joke of she's nothing. Like, she's not even a kudere.
Okay, but she's just that. Like the extreme kuderes end up, you know, seeming like that.
But they still talk, you know.
Sure. Yeah. But point is, the point is, there is a personality change that happens between this and there. It's not just a thing of, I guess she has, like, I mean, maybe it could be just that she has, like, weaker powers, so she ends up getting kind of depressed and just hangs out in a corner with her helmet and eating donuts. But
right.
But it seems like it's going to be more than that, and I'm very excited to see how exactly they link the two together and what the payoff is, because it's probably going to be bittersweet, if not a tearjerker. And
yes, and you've said all that. I was just saying that I think that we're going to reconcile actually the Bakemonogatari Shinobu with actually, because I don't think Shinobu's going to remain like that in Bakemonogatari.
It's more that we're going to see the perspective of why she is that way, and then as the story goes on past that,
she's going to reclaim the original
self.
Right,
we're going to see a lot more of her because like this, because we have more of her as a focus up close and all that.
Because I would say that, you know, being depressed isn't a personality.
Right, or just being quiet.
Quiet isn't a personality either.
Right.
So I would say, if anything, this is who she is. She was acting a certain way in Bakemonogatari because of, like you said, a depressing potentially event that's really tear-jerking or something like that in these movies.
Right.
I am just hoping that, like, you won't get too hung up on the...
Like, the whole point of why I find Kudereis interesting in the first place is not because of the Kudere aspect, it's because of how you break the Kudere aspect.
Whoa. Okay.
So yeah, and how they will have Shinobu be in like future seasons of Monogatari when it's, you know, in like the current timeline, you know, not like back here. I hope that we get more of this kind of Shinobu, even if she is like not quite like this, but like, you know, some slightly different.
Yeah, because to me, this Shinobu is 1,000 infinite times better than anything Shinobu was, even with all the cool animation in Bakemonogatari.
Sure,
but Shinobu was nothing to me really in Bakemonogatari,
which is kind of meta if you think about it. And it could also just be a thing of she didn't have focus, and you know, maybe then once she gets more focus, we'll see more of the stuff that's like this.
Right. So, you know, I mean, she not only has like a unique way of talking, she has a specific kind of ownership of Araragi, and also a certain type of fun that she has with Araragi that no one else in the show has had that type of relationship with thus far. So I'm interested to see the kind of the jokes they can play off of it, but also how Shinobu will be an ally and built up to be an ally of Araragi in the midst of this, because while they seem to have a master-servant relationship here that is very established, there is a clear, like she said, a power dynamic where he's stronger than her because of
her weakened state. Yeah.
But it seems to me that if she was going to be so protective of Araragi in Bakemonogatari, it's telling for us that there's
more to it than just a master-servant relationship.
It becomes maybe more on an equals type term.
Absolutely.
They become friends.
Right.
They become like, you know, again, nakama.
That was something that Hanakawa mentioned. Yes. The whole thing of, hey, you made a friend. But, you know, maybe that's actually just going to be a microcosm of what this entire movie, like, series is going to be about. Araragi making his first friend, his first true friend. You know?
His immortal, like, elder vampire friend.
Exactly. And
wonderful Araragi.
And by the way,
amazing.
I have to say that everything they did with head pats this movie was hilarious.
Awesome.
Both the aspect that Shinobu head pats Araragi. First. I find that so hilarious because he's a tiny little baby by comparison, right? Like even to Oshino, I think it was, she called Oshino a brat. Yeah. I think that's absolutely fantastic.
Right.
And then she was like, head pat me, like, you know, pat my head, you know, and then
as a sign of obedience.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And then they had that weird sound effect where it was like
wink, wink, wink,
like some sort of like squeaky sound or something.
it's in some ways it's almost like the comedy shows where the boobs basically go wink 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 like they're squishy basically or something.
Right.
The Shinobu's head was squishy or something, and he's
right.
like, oh, yeah, and she's just like, you know,
and then that is enough, you know.
Yeah, okay, we got it.
Yeah.
If anything, there were certain aspects of the girls in this movie where their personalities were a bit exaggerated in the kind of cutesy way, which might be just the shift towards a more moe type
possibly
culture in anime between Bakemonogatari's release and Kizumonogatari's release. But I noticed that they were not even trying to be subtle at all regarding Hanakawa's whole cat
yes, definitely
aspects to her. She even like bound it up basically.
Right. And did the
oh, you know?
Yeah.
But then also Shinobu's kind of cutesy, but I would say also kind of condescending way of talking was awesome.
Yeah.
I think the only other big thing, is there anything specifically with Araragi that we kind of want to mention? There were some weird things with the number 4 they were doing in the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
And it was easier to notice them, I think, because there was no dialogue. So I was specifically looking at the environment for visual storytelling clues.
They did a crap ton of no dialogue in the beginning.
It was a very long...
excellent scene. It was gorgeously animated, and it did a great job of setting the tone with, you know, the way they animated Araragi. So it's like, he's really freaking out right now. Mm-hmm. And then the whole thing with the tree up close and the crows and all that stuff, that was wonderful.
I could see someone, that's why I'm actually confused that someone would watch these first. Someone watching these first and getting this first kind of cold open to the series would seem a bit like really hard to because you'd be like, what is going on?
Right, exactly. I don't think it would necessarily be something where people would recommend, I mean, maybe they would, to watch these first. I think it's more like something where on like rewatch, you know, people would end up watching these first to be like, and this is, you know, since I have all the context for everything, I'm going to start with this and see how that sort of changes the palette of everything else.
I think that's definitely a thing, but I definitely know for a fact that the debate would not be around whether or not a rewatch order is valid at all. It's about whether or not
someone should be introduced to a rewatch order first.
A watch order is done first or not.
Right.
Yes. Because, Star Wars has watch order debates.
That's true.
Levels.
Yeah.
Like, that's six movies. Well, it was 6 movies, but anyway.
Now it's all sorts of complicated.
Other than that, I don't really have anything more to discuss. This was a good foundation builder.
Right, because they didn't actually go over that much plot this not episode, movie.
Right.
But I'm excited to see what they do in the next 2.
Yeah, y'all. Yeah. Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And glad you guys got to watch this whole thing with us.
Yeah.
So, if you want to see the next movie of Kizumonogatari right now with our reaction and discussion and that, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. Any level of support gets you access to our Discord, where you can chat with us about stories, Monogatari, non-spoilery, of course, or just hang out and do whatever. If any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.